What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training. Today we're going to be breaking down 3 tips for quarterbacks to be a more accurate passer. So the first thing we're going to talk about is why the front foot is not necessarily the guaranteed thing that's going to make you accurate, but aka stepping to the target like a lot of people teach. Then we're going to be talking about some of the common mistakes that quarterbacks make with their front side discipline that lead to some inconsistency. So I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it teaches you a few new things. But also, fellas, if you're a quarterback and you want to train with us this offseason, we're hosting 2-day long quarterback and wide receiver training camps in 5 different states across the U.S. So we're coming out to Columbus, Ohio, May 14th and 15th. That's our next camp. Then Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, and Los Angeles, California. So if you guys are local to one of those locations or would like to travel out and get some work in with us for 2 whole days, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out to one of our camps. Spots are limited, 10 to 12 quarterbacks per group. So it's a small group atmosphere, and we would love to help you get your skills better. So very first link in the description below. Let's get started. So like I said, that front foot, so many quarterback coaches, their go-to explanation for why people miss on throws is, oh, you got to point your toe in the direction of the target. Now, Tom Brady is probably one of the most famous for doing the exact opposite of that. When he strikes the ground, that front foot is just slightly closed, right? So he's throwing to Edelman towards the sideline, right? And his front foot is almost stepping like here. So how is he able to be accurate? How is he able to throw this thing on a rope? And it is all about transferring your weight, getting your hips to rotate through, but staying square to the target with your hips and with your shoulders. Okay, so why is that important? So a lot of guys, what they'll do is when they throw, if Brady, like he doesn't have his feet set, right? So he's stepping over here. A lot of quarterbacks will throw, and they don't know simply that their weight transfer is what makes the throw, no matter where your feet are set. But they'll keep their hips and their shoulders facing this way, and they'll try to throw across their body, right? And that's where it's very inconsistent. But if you guys can transfer your weight with your lower half, get your hips to rotate through, but at the finish of the release point, your hips and your shoulders are facing the target, that is what allows your release to be consistent. That ball is going to follow wherever your hips go, right? So if Brady were to be thrown to somebody over here, he wouldn't let his hips and he wouldn't let his shoulders rotate out this way. He would keep his hips and his shoulders facing here, right? It would let the weight transfer rotate the arm through, and his hips and his shoulders staying face to the target is what allows the ball to come out. I'm sure you guys have seen quarterbacks throw at one point or another, and they have that very like whip or that like twitchy motion, right? Where there's like a snap to the ball, right? And that's all from staying disciplined with your upper body. You want to keep your hips and your shoulders facing that target. Now, a lot of quarterbacks, what they'll do is that rather than staying square, like you see how Brady does, and stays facing in the direction he wants to go with the ball, when their momentum is taking them this way, they'll continue to swing the shoulder and swing the hip open. So they will swing this way with hips, shoulders, everything. And what that does is that gets your body off of the midline. And we're going to be talking about that with the next 2 clips that we show. But when your body falls off the midline, your release is affected. His shoulders and his hips, if they would have ended up over here, what happens to his arm is that his arm is going to fly out wide. When you're on the midline, whatever your front side does, the throwing side's going to do the exact same thing, but opposite. So you swing open with your front side, what do you think the arm's going to do? It's going to swing open, but you're going to be throwing sidearm, and that will cause you to miss behind. That'll cause you, if you throw it late, to miss too far out in front. So we have to focus on staying square to the target, hips and shoulders facing the target, so my release point stays at a consistent spot and doesn't leave outside my frame or get pushed up super high. So we're going to be talking about that in the next 2 clips that we show. So let's watch the thing again full speed. So the front foot does not guarantee accuracy. Your hips and your shoulders staying square to the target guarantee accuracy. So now we're looking at this throw here from this quarterback, and I wanted to include this because I wanted you guys to see what I'm talking about with the front side opening up. Okay, so this ends up being an accurate throw, and I want to make this very clear. Quarterbacks, we can get very good at a bad habit, right? But that bad habit is not going to be consistent. That's the problem, right? Everybody throws the football differently. I want to get that point across. But when you look at some of the elite passers in the NFL, they all have this same release point. Hand up by their face, hips and shoulders stay finished at the target, because that is what gives them that consistent accuracy. It helps them with torque, which is getting more velocity. I know the focus is accuracy in this video, but we have to focus on staying at the target with hips and shoulders. So let's watch this throw here. This is a 10-yard out, and watch what his front side does, right? So he does the rotate and replace, like a lot of old quarterback coaches teach. So where are his hips and shoulders faced? Hips and shoulders are faced here. Where should they be faced? They should be faced over here on this out route to give him that twitch, to give him him some torque, but also to have his release point be consistent. So when you guys are here and you guys go to throw and that front side continues to separate, where is his body going? His body is going this way, but where is his release going? His release is going outside of his frame. So when your release goes outside of your frame like this, when you let go of the ball and you're like leaning out of it because your hips and your shoulders are going the opposite direction of the throw, if you release it too early, it is going to go wide. If you release that thing a little bit too late, it is going to go behind because your arm is coming across the plane. It is not keeping my hips and shoulders facing it and extending and almost like snapping a towel, if you will, at the target. So again, this ends up being a good ball. You can get very good at a bad habit, but you do not want to swing the front side out of there. Show me one NFL starting quarterback who swings their front side out like that and swings the shoulder through. They don't do it because they know that that's going to affect accuracy and you're going to be inconsistent when not only throwing throws like this, but making off-platform throws. Like, let's think about it like this. Like, let's say he's in the drop and he has to make some pocket movement this way and he has to do like kind of a back pedal. I'm sure you guys have all seen that, a back pedal to the left and throw a route coming to the right. If he swings his front side out of there, he's going to be falling to the sideline on this throw. You watch guys like Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. When they have to move around in the pocket, their hips and their shoulders stay facing the target because that gives them a consistent release point and that helps them be more accurate from those awkward throw positions. And then obviously that would just translate over into regular throws from the pocket. So make sure, fellas, when I am making these throws, hips and shoulders are consistently staying square to the target. I'm not swinging my front side for power. I'm staying hips and shoulders at that thing, okay? So now let's take a look. Let's watch the thing again full speed one more time, and you could really see the swing of the shoulders. But now let's look at this throw from Bryce Young. Look at his front side. Watch what his front side does here. He does not really move that front hand, and his shoulders and hips stay completely parallel. This is what I'm talking about, fellas, because we want to have a consistent release point. So you see how he goes back, he takes the ball back, he has nice backstroke, his hip rotation is bringing the ball through, but on the finish, he does not keep swinging the shoulder out. He stays there. You see how there's kind of that snap to it. There's a snap to that motion, and he keeps that hand somewhat by his face. His hips, his shoulders do not continue to bail out. They stay there at the release point. That is called being disciplined with your front side, and that is what gives you a consistent, like almost 90-degree release point. If Bryce Young dips the elbow down, right, his release point gets pushed high. If he starts to swing the shoulder this way, guess what's going to happen? His head's going to lean and his arm is going to fly outside the frame as well. But when you guys can stay square, shoulders, hips at the target, hand by your face, not swinging the elbow down. This is the position we want to get to on every single throw because that is how I can be consistent and that is how I can have an accurate release point. So this is textbook here from Bryce Young. And when you guys can do this, when you guys can master this, it gives you so much more consistency on the ball. Now, I'm going to warn all of you. If you do this and you do not have proper hip mechanics, it is going to feel like you have absolutely no power on the ball. That is not a bad thing. That just means that you need to transfer more weight with your upper half. When you look at this throw from Bryce Young, yes, his upper half is clean, but watch also what his lower half does. He's got weight on his back leg, and you see how his hips are rotating through. You see how his front hip is coming through. Weight is transferring to the front leg. This is what gives me power, not this. That does not give me power. The hips and the weight transfer give me power. This gives me consistency. Legs do not give me consistency. That gives me power and velocity and hip rotation. But the upper body staying square, the hands staying by the face, that's what gives me a good release point, and all I have to worry about then is flicking my release or flicking my wrist to be a more accurate passer. Let's watch the thing again full speed one more time. Great job by Bryce Young staying square, letting the hip transfer make the throw, and then obviously delivering this strike downfield on a nice accurate ball. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. I always appreciate the feedback. Always great to hear from you guys. You guys help keep the channel rolling, so I really appreciate it. And again, fellas, if you'd like to train with us in 5 different cities this offseason, we're coming out to Columbus, Chicago, Dallas, Nashville, and Los Angeles. Check out that very first link in the description below. We would love to have you out. I'll see you guys next time.